Alright guys, I got my hands on the new GeForce GTX1070 from Gigabyte. I went ahead and spent a little bit extra money and I grabbed the Xtreme Gaming Edition. I know all the chips are the same and you can basically overclock them to the same, but I decided to spend a little bit more money because I like the cosmetics of this one. For example, it has 3 fans, one in the middle, and they're all a little bit offset. The one in the middle it sits down a little bit farther, and they all spin in different directions, which is supposed to improve the cooling performance. I also really liked how this one lights up. I like all the different colors you can make it. Basically, I just like the way it looks, and it has some pretty sweet cosmetics, in my opinion. This one does come factory with a little bit better clock speeds, but where they all run from the same chip, essentially you can all overclock them to the same speeds, varying the minor manufacturing differences. Now, I've never actually bought a graphics card brand new out of the box. Everything I've owned is used. Keep your opinions to yourself on used products. Everybody has their own. I was a little bit more on a budget in the past, so I just grabbed what I could. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what's on the inside. Now, this looks very, very classy. I'm really impressed with the way they did this. It's just simple black with their logo on the front, and it looks really well, really, really slick, really elegant, really nice. Not much really to see here, so let's keep digging. In here, it looks like we have this little box that's where they keep all their manuals and warranties and all the cool stuff like that. Pull this out, make sure you guys can see it. Kind of cool. Let's check this out and see what's in here. Kind of tricky to open. I've never done this before. I really like the new logo. So it looks like we get a little armband with their logo on it. That's kind of cool. I personally don't wear armbands, but it's cool that they would include this. I'm sure somebody does. Then here we have this. It's a folder. And inside the folder we have a book containing information about warranty. The GTX does come with a really good warranty, 4 years. Not too worried about that. We'll just go ahead and set that aside. And down here, it looks like we dropped the decal that you stick on the side of your computer. I'm a huge fan of these. I do put them on my computer, and when I get a new product to replace it, I take the old sticker off, and I've got a collection. I stick it off to the side in my collection, special place to put it, and I put the new one on. I really like these things. They look really good, and yeah. I'm just going to stick all this back in here so I don't lose it, and I'll stick that off to the side, and we'll pull out the GTX. Now, coming back over here, looking inside this, it's just the graphics card with some foam around it. It's in its static proof bag. I love it when companies do that. I've actually bought a few things that they weren't wrapped in static bag. That's a huge no-no, and if you see that, you shouldn't buy it. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Lots of foam. We're going to go ahead and close this and set it off to the side. There's nothing else in it. I looked, I double checked. So let's go straight to the card. The card's a lot thicker than I thought it'd be, which I was told it would be thick because where the fans are offset, the Xtreme Gaming Edition will be a little bit thicker and take up more room than any other GTX 1070 just because the fans are offset. It's been told that this will take up to 3 slots on your motherboard. I don't know if it'll take up quite that on mine because my motherboard actually takes into account of that, and my PCI slots are spaced out a little bit farther so you can have bigger graphics cards and hopefully fit more in there. We'll see if they took into account for having this big of a graphics card though. I don't think they did, but I've only got one graphics card in there and not much others in there. Not really anything else taking up my PCI slots, so I think I will be okay. So looking at this, I've heard people complain that the build quality really isn't that good. They were surprised by how cheap and flimsy the plastic is, but honestly, I tried bending different parts of it around various places on the graphics card. It, to me, seems sturdy enough. One thing I said why I grabbed this graphics card was because I really liked how it lit up, and it has so many different choices for colors and different effects with the lighting you can do. My motherboard does light up and do cool things with that, so hopefully I can get them to match. These supports right here for the middle, they've got light strips in them, they glow. And then up here on the top, the logo and this wording will glow. And also this fan stop will glow, but that thing only turns on when your fan stops to let you know that the fans aren't running. Up here we have a 6 and an 8 pin for power. That should be plenty, especially where the GTX1070 supposedly uses less power than its predecessors. So that should be plenty of power for it. It's not as flimsy as I thought it'd be, hearing from what people had to say about it. Honestly, I can't tell you how good and how high quality this card feels in the hand. Alright guys, here it is installed in my machine. Just to let you guys know what I'm pairing it with, I have my motherboard that I really recommend is a Gigabyte Gaming 7 motherboard. It has a reinforced, spaced PCI slots to help you out with your SLI or Crossfire rigs. It's also really good with heavier graphics cards like this one. I'm also running 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM from G.EEK and the 6700K from Intel, their i7. And with that, I am running 2 Mushkin SSDs, 480 gigs in RAID 0 array because, you know, speed. The card specs are as follows. Its core clock is 1695 in overclock mode and 1670 in gaming mode, with boost clock up to 1898 in overclock mode and 1873 in gaming mode. The memory is 8328 in overclock mode and 8168 in gaming mode. It has 8 gigs of memory with 256 bit, but it is GDDR5, not the new GDDR5X. Take that into note. With a max resolution of digitally 7680 by 4320 at 60 Hz and analog 4096 and 2160. It is virtual reality ready. Recommended PCU is 500 watts. It does have dual link DVI. I was able to pick this card up for $460 from Newegg.com. Going over the connectors, there are 3 display ports, 1 HDMI connector, and a DVI-D connector. Also, there are 2 additional HDMI inputs on the other end of the graphics card. I've been wanting this graphics card for a while now. I sold my old GTX1070 and I've been trying to get my hands on this one, but it keeps going in and out of stock every time I look. It was finally in stock and I hurried and grabbed it while I could.